Unfortunately for world peace, there were only 12 episodes of Nagatoro, but that doesn't mean that there weren't plenty of moments in the show worth pausing and rewatching. It's just that kind of show, so let's take a quick look at the top 10 most paused scenes in the entire show. It goes without saying that there will be spoilers. Number 1. I should probably include the bath scene where she accidentally turns on the camera. It's so unlikely to happen that it makes me think that some kind of god really wanted Nagatoro to turn the camera on and to make her hold her phone away from her. Oh wait, there is. Number 2. There's a really interesting hand-washing scene in episode 4 that almost has as much budget as 7 Deadly Sins season 3. Actually, never mind. Literally anything has a higher budget than that. I hope the anime community never forgets how disappointing that season was. But anyway, this beautifully animated hand stuff does remind me of Kazuma's creepy hands in Konosuba. Plus, I've been informed that there are people in the world who really like hands. Or is it feet? I'm not sure. Number 3. It wouldn't be possible to make a video like this without mentioning the beach episode. Is there even a single anime like this that doesn't have a beach episode? If there is, it probably didn't do very well. But there is one particular scene in this episode that captures the cultured eye. It's when Senpai is getting stepped on pretty hard by 3 different girls. Nagatoro isn't too happy about that though. She would have preferred to step on Senpai 1v1. To be fair though, they were only trying to put sunscreen on his back, and we do get confirmation later that he didn't get a sunburn, so it clearly worked. In other words, it's healthy to get stepped on. Who knew? Number 4. In episode 9, the show references Hajime no Ippo by name, but it's actually in episode 8 where a reference first appears. Nagatoro is talking about how in anime there's always a character that takes some weighted clothes off in a fight. All the characters will say something like, "There's no way taking your socks off will make you faster," but then everyone is surprised when the floor cracks under the weight of those socks. You know, like Rock Lee versus Gaara in Naruto or Goku versus Tien in Dragon Ball. Anyway, in the cutscene, Nagatoro actually starts doing the creepy boxing stance that Mishap uses in Ippo. It's called the flicker jab, and he famously uses it to steal back the phone from his sister when he thinks she's talking to his arch enemy. It makes sense too, since Nagatoro's arms are always turning into noodles and slapping people, otherwise known as Noodle Toro. Number 5. In the final episode of Nagatoro, there's an art battle between Senpai and the president of the art club, who will attract the most people to their art display. The president of the art club decided to paint herself in the nude, while Senpai painted a ton of pictures of Nagatoro doing Nagatoro things. But the president's painting almost ends up getting banned from being displayed as the disciplinary committee thinks it's inappropriate. Weirdly, we then get another life lesson when the president argued that her painting getting taken down was tyranny, and that doing so restricted her freedom of expression. Honestly, it's hard not to agree with her. The painting is pretty damn good. Even Nagatoro liked it. The question is though, are people pausing this scene for nudity or for artistic talent? I hope a little bit of both. Number 6. In one of the final scenes, we have one of the most cultured scenes in the entire show. The president of the art club is forced to dress up in a bunny costume and sell merch. The weird part is that even though it's supposed to be embarrassing, she blushes and says, "This stimulates my creative desire, and this may bring me unprecedented deliverance." In other words, she thinks that the costume gives her freedom and a sense of liberation. Hey, whatever floats your boat, lady. She's a bit like Darkness. Well, maybe she's not that weird. She does seem to be an interesting character though. If we do get a season 2, I hope that she becomes a main part of the group. Number 7. Some of the best scenes in the show are when Nagatoro gets angry at her friends for messing or flirting with Senpai. But the one I've chosen for this video is the very first one we see. Nagatoro is using her noodle arms to poke and prod Senpai while calling him a slave, which is funny by itself. But at one point, one of her friends also tries to give a little poke to Senpai. She never gets the chance though because Nagatoro grabs her wrist with an iron grip. It reminds me of the first proper fight between Meliodas and Bond, where Meliodas pulls out his demon form and breaks Bond's hand into about 14 different places. I know Nagatoro's angry face is probably supposed to look like a cat, but I can't help seeing Killua's freaky sister Nanika. Number 8. Anytime Nagatoro transforms into a cat or dresses up as a cat. Animes make more money the more cat girls they include. This is a well-known fact. Number 9. Believe it or not, in this scene we get a deep life lesson. Nagatoro has been talking on and on about how she's wearing a swimsuit underneath her clothes. So when it starts pouring rain, Senpai doesn't believe there's any danger in turning around and looking at her, and then he does. But obviously, for the plot's sake, she isn't wearing the swimsuit this time, and Senpai ends up looking through her clothes. Anime always comes through with moral wisdom when you're least expecting it. I will name this scene the Nagatoro Who Cried Wolf. Number 10. The scene where Nagatoro and Senpai are playing rock, paper, scissors to decide who carries the bag is one of the scenes in this show that really sets it apart from other tease anime rom-coms. Yes, the main character is literally called Senpai. At one point, Nagatoro wins the rock, paper, scissors, and she uses the opportunity to make Senpai carry her along with her bags. But his weak, skinny frame can't handle it, and she starts to slip off his back. He ends up touching her thigh as he's trying not to drop her, and this is where the show really shines. face. In most animes like this, she would Kaui Ken times 20 roundhouse kick senpai in the eye socket, but instead, she just runs away without saying anything. It's a huge contrast to earlier episodes, and it makes you think she's genuinely upset instead of angry. A lot of people have said that they don't normally like these kinds of animes, but Nagatoro just hits different, and I think this is why. Even if it doesn't seem like it, there's some real progression throughout the series that keeps you invested. Anyway, this brings us to the end of the video. What did you think of Nagatoro? Let me know in the comments below.